Hello, my name is Katie. I'm our Senior Principal for Copilot in M365, and I'll be talking about why it's so important to build out a business case for Copilot. It's been so important to build out a business case for Copilot just due to the significance of the investment of the license. We want to quantify those benefits and check effectively in a business case setting just what impact can be brought. And that's not just the general productivity scenarios. Can people fundamentally save time? Are they happier at work? Does it help with those three key pillars of Copilot? But we also want to see what's the real business value realization when it comes to a specific business group. So how does Copilot help a business area achieve their KPIs and strategic objectives more easily? And that's why we want to be building out a business case, assessing impact, quantifying the benefit before making that licensing decision. So this can be quite hard to measure, employee productivity. And the first thing we can do to try and gather this data and measure that impact is actually ask employees themselves. So using surveys, employee surveys, can really help us understand users' perception of the impact Copilot is bringing to their day-to-day. So we can ask them, how much time they're saving every day on a task or when using a certain application. We can ask their perspective on effort reduction, maybe whether they're less stressed. And this is really valuable data for us. But often senior stakeholders want to validate that with something, a bit more concrete. And that's where we've introduced this idea, and we'd really recommend doing this, of using A/B testing to measure Copilot's impact. The idea here is that we take a task, let's say writing a job description for someone in HR, and we measure it with and without Copilot. So we first measure it without Copilot. We ask the user to say how much time they're spending. We give them a measure of effort. We ask the quality of the output. And then with Copilot and look at the difference. The final way we'd really recommend is using focus groups. And this is how we can start to estimate making it real in a business function or market. So what we can do is look at a key process in a business area, perhaps compiling a QBR. And then we can think about how that process changes when Copilot is enabled. So is capacity created? And not only is capacity created, but what is the impact of that capacity? So if a team of 15 are saving 3 days per quarter when doing a process with Copilot, that's great, but that's not enough to kind of show real business value. It's how that capacity is used. So is there business value? Is it created by this team being able to complete their processes 10-15% faster? And that means that they can optimize and be more productive as a team without having to hire a new colleague into the team. So those are three key ways we can start to kind of measure this impact and compile that into the business case. So this year we've really learned that proving up productivity is really, really important, but Copilot can bring so much more in terms of return on employee, to use the Gartner term. So what we can see is that Copilot is a great tool for improving employee experience, making people feel less stressed at work. It has great well-being impacts. I think when people first look at Copilot, they think, great, that's an added extra, that's a nice to have, but we'd really, really encourage you really trying to measure these and bring these into the business case as well. Copilot has some accessibility features and can really support accessibility needs for users as well. This is a really, really key tool, and in some cases we've seen organizations look at sunsetting other tools that they're licensing because some of those capabilities are wrapped into Copilot in M365 as well. We see really positive impact on well-being, people saving that time, reducing their hours after work, being in fewer meetings, which can have a really positive impact on employee well-being. If you'd like to know more about building out a business case for Copilot, please scan the QR code and you can access our Copilot white paper, which tells you loads of things and shares more about the principles I've shared today. Please don't hesitate to get in touch if you are looking to start measuring out the impact of Copilot. We'd love to speak to you about it. Thanks for watching.